Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, June 14th. Going to get started with today's live stream momentarily. Just give it another minute or so for people to join us, and we'll get things started. All right, I see we have quite a few people joining us. Welcome to the live stream. Going to get started with today's content in just a moment. We have some news with regards to Hexo and Tilray. We need to be expecting the deal vote and approval today, but there's been some changes. So we're going to discuss those changes here in about 30 seconds. We'll get started. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Let me know in the comments as well if anybody has read into the details. I know we haven't covered it yet, but if you have started to dive into today's news, let me know what your thoughts are. If you think it's good or bad. Going to get started here in about 10 seconds. All right, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, June 14th. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. Going to get started with today's live stream. Hope you're well today. Before we get to it, though, make sure to smash the like, subscribe to the channel. You can tick the bell to be notified on any future videos, all that stuff. Going to jump into today's video and content, which has to do with the agreement amended between Hexo and Tilray, and we're going to discuss whether or not this is good or bad. Again, I'll ask this question again once we go through the information, and I'll help everybody I'll try to dumb it down a little bit, explain it to you like you were 5, and give you the too long to didn't read synopsis of everything. So Tilray Brands announces enhancements to accredited strategic transaction with Hexo. Again, if you've already read this, let me know what you think, if it's good or bad, what your thoughts are, and then I'll ask this question again once we go through it. So this is pretty lengthy. I might read it all, but I want to try. Everybody wants me to keep these videos shorter, or else a bunch of people don't read it. But anyway, no more waste any time. Amended terms include an increased discount on purchase price of Hexo note and reduced Tilray conversion price on Hexo shares. Reaffirms $80 million in projected shared cost saving synergies. And this is the PR from Tilray, by the way. Expected to close in July. I think it was July 15th, 2022. Leamington, Ontario. So announced that the company has entered into an amendments to improve the terms of its previously disclosed agreements to acquire all of the outstanding principal plus accrued and unpaid interest under the secured convertible note. Let's go through this here a little quicker. So they're going to reduce the conversion price under the Hexo note from 85 cents to 40 cents per share. So that's something I didn't see coming. That's a pretty big blow. Irwin Simon, Tilray Brands CEO, said, "We believe Hexo continues to be the right strategic partner for Tilray Brands in Canada. Therefore, look forward to closing this transaction in July and working with Hexo to deliver on the promise and the potential of the partnership for our shareholders, consumers, and employees." Charlie Bowman, Hexo's president and CEO, added the strategic alliance between Tilray Brands accelerates Hexo operational turnaround and unlocks capital to expand our market leadership globally. The partnership is essential in the next step in improving our capital structure, and we're confident that the synergies realized will reset the industry. As previously announced, the strategic alliance between Tilray and Hexo is expected to provide several financial benefits, including substantial synergies. I'm not going to read all this. You can in your own time. Again, this is not new, so just go through that if you want to read that. Upon closing, Tilray Brands will nominate 2 directors to Hexo's board of directors. I think it was just 1, and 1 board observer. I think it was just 1 before, so it looks like Tilray wants to have more of a grasp on Hexo just at first glance, right? Obviously, the market conditions change. There's also, if you go here and go to hexocorp.com, go underneath CDR filing, there's the new document here from today, and this is Hexo's version of the press release. So it starts off by saying Hexo enters into an agreement amending agreements to the transaction agreement with Tilray Brands and standby with Chaos. So market conditions dictate resetting of agreement terms. Standby agreement conditions amended in Hexo's favor. So obviously Tilray got it amended in their favor. with regards to the convertible note, and then standby agreement conditions amended in Hexo's favor. So we'll see. I actually haven't fully read this. I just saw this information, wanted to come live and discuss it, see what everybody thinks. But we'll read through this here in just a moment. But let's try to go through this a little quicker here to try to keep this video as short as possible. So Tilray Brands would acquire Hexo's note from High Tide, 100% of which current remaining is $185 million, so it's down to $185. And Hexo's note, Tilray Brand will pay $89.2, and then outstanding principal balance of the note. This equates to 10.8 discount of the outstanding principal amount until closing. High Tide may continue to redeem Hexo note pursuant to their terms. So that's why Hexo did that recent ATM, the at-the-market program, was likely to get them by and finance the debt that's still ongoing, because the deal didn't close in May like they were expected. Now it's July, right? So it's a couple months out, and the market conditions changed, obviously. However, in no event shall the outstanding principal balance of the Hexo note, which ultimately purchased by Tilray Brands, be less than $160 million. That's just likely protect Tilray, in my opinion. The initial conversion price of the Hexo note will be amended and adjusted down to $85 to $40 per share. That implies that as of June 13th, 2022, Tilray Brands would have the right to convert into approximately 50% of the outstanding common stock of Hexo on a non-diluted basis. So I didn't see this coming at all. And like I said, it's looking more and more like Tilray wants a grasp on Hexo. We know that Tilray tried to buy Hexo in November, I think it was, for like $3 or $4 a share. Or maybe it was $2 or $3 a share. It was definitely $3 though. And we know that Hexo basically said, hell no, right? So I don't know. I'm still a believer that we're going to see Hexo remain independent. Both companies have already said that it's important Hexo remain independent and stand alone. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But the purchase price shall be satisfied in part by the issuance of $50 million convertible note, yada, yada, yada. Convertible note bear interest at about 4% per annum, which I think was about $20 million is what they were going to get paid. But anyways, long story short, I've done videos on whether or not I think, Tilray. So just search on my channel, Tilray eventually merging with Hexo. It should come up. But I'm not going to go into all my thoughts on that. But essentially, I do think that it's unlikely. It's likely that we could see the merge, but I don't think it's going to happen, because we know that both companies have said that it's important that they remain independent. And I think that they're just two very different companies, and they're going to basically form this partnership, much like Microsoft did with Apple, right? I personally don't see them merging anytime soon. Look how long it took for this deal to get just this financial and commercial partnership that they're working out. Look how long it took for that to happen. And how long would it take for the actual companies to merge? And Tilray has already said they're in a good position to do absolutely nothing and just collect the interest, or later on convert, because they don't own they don't own that 50% until they convert into equity, right? So the convertible note just means it's debt that can be converted into shares, right? That's what convertible means. But they have to actually convert the debt, right? So until they convert, they don't own anything. They don't own that 50%. But upon conversion, they would own about 50% of Hexo. So again, they're in a good position, they said already, to do nothing, or later on to convert and look at putting both companies together, right? So it's a possibility in the future. I just, based on what they've said already and the fact that, Hexo has such a strong brand portfolio, we know that Tilray tried to buy them in November and it didn't happen. And Hexo's poison pill, I think they're just doing everything in their absolute power to avoid being taken over. And they know that, okay, well, we were either going to sell out to Tilray in November for $3 a share, or now we maintain 50% basically of our business and we stay afloat for the next several years. We're going to have access to $282 million, assuming anything didn't change with regards to that, but it doesn't look like it has. So I'm going to read this real quick here. So this is cool. See here. So yeah, it matures on September 1st, 2023, almost at 10 minutes. Got to start hurrying this video up a little bit more here, trying to keep it short. The parties expect to close on or about July 15th, 2022, and the amended agreement also extend to outside date for closing the transactions to August 1st. So as previously announced, Tilray Brands and Hexo have also agreed to continue to work together to finalize and enter into a commercial agreement and closing the transaction on mutually agreeable terms covering the following key areas. Tilray Brands will complete production and processing as a third-party manufacturer for products for Hexo, and Hexo will source all of its MJ products for international markets, excluding Canada and the U.S. So this means that anywhere else that Hexo sells other than Canada and the U.S., they're going to be sourcing it from Tilray. but they have they're wide open in Canada and US to do everything themselves, right? So Hexo is going to be focusing on Canada and the US. We know that's very evident. They bought a facility in the US. They've been working with brand agencies in the US. Exclusively from Tilray, Hexo and Tilray Brands will share savings on a 50-50 basis related to facilities optimization activities, procurement, general and administrative costs, including insurance and certain shared services, and certain production and processing activities for straight edge pre-rolls, so the readies, edibles, and beverages. So edibles, we know Hexo has a new CPG partner coming up any week now. They said on April 28th it would be released in the coming weeks, but first product would be in the SQDC, so Quebec, by the end of summer. And we know that Tilray just launched the first edible in Quebec, so they're going to be working together. It's going to be interesting. And beverages. The commercial agreements will also provide that Hexo pay Tilray Brands an annual fee of $18 million for the advisory services with respect to cultivation, operation, and production matters. All right, moving on to, so again, if you just go here, click on investors, click on CDR filing, and then it's the first document on the top of the list there from today's date. So this is Hexo's version. Market conditions dictate resetting the change of agreement. Hexo to file supplement to management information circular for special meeting of shareholders. Again, they said Chaos Capital standby agreement has been amended in Hexo's favor, but not so much. They didn't say that in Tilray. So obviously Tilray, hats off to Tilray, doing a great job with the negotiation skills. Hexo to file supplement to management information circular for special meeting of shareholders. So here you go, a vote to approve standby agreement to continue on as planned today. So this is important. Again, I'm going to repeat this. Today, we were expecting the Tilray deal vote to get approved by shareholders, but that's going to be adjourned, and today only the standby agreement will continue. The vote to approve the transaction agreement has been adjourned until July 4th, which is also when Flare Networks launches, which is kind of cool. It's also Independence Day, but that's a Monday, I believe, on July 4th. Yep, and expected to close about a week later on July 15th, about a week and a half later on July 15th. So again, we'll have a little bit more time to digest this, but it's been adjourned. I don't know how that works. I've already voted, so I don't know if we have to if we vote again, or if you can just go in there and change your vote, if that's kind of what the idea is. I guess I'll have to go back and check into that, but I'll keep everybody updated on that once I come across it. But let's just go through this here real quickly, see if there's any difference. So, okay, yeah, here it goes. This is a lot different. So I didn't read this yet, so we'll go through this together. It might be a little bit of a longer video. Sorry, folks. Today announced that the company amended the agreement, blah, blah, blah. Okay, on June 14th, in view of the current stock market conditions, and in order to reduce closing risk related to the pre-amended minimum liquidity closing condition, the company entered into the amending agreement to the transaction agreement pursuant to which Hexo, Tilray Brands, and High Tide agreed to reduce the minimum liquidity interim covenant and closing condition from USD 100 million to 70 million CAD, with such amount to be determined after giving an effect and release of all conditions in any blocked accounts and restricted cash to the company and its subsidiaries, and including net cash proceeds expected to receive from the company's captive D&O insurance policy. Let's go through this a little quicker here. Extend the outside date as the transaction from July 1st to October. Yeah. Okay. Just extending the dates. Extend the date by the company for shareholder approval from June 15th to July 15th. Oh, no. Extend outside date from July 1st to August 1st. Yeah. Extend the date by which, got mixed up there. Company must use best efforts to obtain shareholder approval from June 15th to, okay, so anytime in between those two dates. Reduce the amended share price as defined in the transaction agreement from USD 54 to 40 cents CAD. Yeah. Amend the condition regarding Tilray's right to appoint nominees and observe to the company's board of directors. Yep, so I think it went from a 2 to 1. And then amended, restate the purchase note to reflect a reduction in Tilray Brands conversion price from 85 cents to 40 cents. And amend and restate, okay, yeah, nothing new. So additionally, Tilray has irrevocably waived any non-compliance by Hexo with the minimum liquidity interim covenant contained in the transaction agreement for all periods prior to the date of amending agreement for all purposes, including respect to Tilray's ability to terminate the transaction agreement for any such non-compliance. The strategic partnership with Tilray Brands significantly improves Hexo's capital structure and provides the opportunity to accelerate our growth. Yeah, we already read through that in the last one. Challenging stock market conditions have necessitated amendments to the agreement, but this is a critical step in unlocking shareholder value held within the company. Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate. We even had a couple people in the POW Group community, you know who you are, that said that this could likely get revised, and with about a month before it closes again. Let's just hope there's not too much more downside in the broader market right now. I don't think there will be. I think we're getting very close to a bottom here in the broader market, at least a temporary bottom. Nothing goes straight down forever. Nothing goes straight up forever. So we should form a lower high and ebb and flow. And see a relief rally before we do start trending lower. But it is possible that we keep trending lower as well. So we just have to take the good with the bad here. But it is what it is. No one said investing was easy. And you can't control the market, right? This is kind of the hand that they were dealt. And let's move on to the standby agreement here. So company has also announced that in view of the company's current share price, the investor has formally agreed for a period of 3 months to reduce the minimum price condition included in the standby agreement from 30 cents CAD to 10 cents per share. This will ensure the company may, during such 3-month period, draw upon the financing commitment contemplated by the standby agreement, even if the share price were to fall below 30 cents a share. In addition, the investor has agreed to allow the company to commence the process of drawing upon the standby commitment immediately following the receipt of necessary regulatory approvals without having to wait for any first 5 trading days in the next calendar month and previously contemplated by the standby agreements. So this is what they're saying. This is in Hexo's favor now. Subsequent draws will continue to be available. See, everybody's friendly, right? Everybody wants Hexo to succeed. This is why markets are so rigged, right? It's so stacked against the retail investor. Well, most people, they don't see this because of emotions, right? But most people just think Hexo's going bankrupt. And it's like Chaos is super friendly, Tilray is super friendly, but they're going to be friendly, but they want Tilray's like, okay, well, we're kind of saving your ass here, so we want a little. You got to first scratch you back. If we're going to scratch your back, you got to scratch ours better, right? And that's kind of what they're getting at there. Subsequent draws will continue to be available only during the first 5 trading days of any month during the term of the standby agreement. Yeah, okay. So you guys can read all this on your own. June 14th and July 14th meetings. So gives some information on that. So they deem it advisable to pass with or without validation. So they basically vote in favor for, just like they did on the last one. But again, if you want to see more about the meeting details there in effort of time, like I said, just go to Hexo and go underneath investors. I want to try to wrap this up in the next couple minutes, and then click on CEDAR filing. You'll be the first one there, and you can read that in its entirety. But let's just take, what's Hexo doing here pre-market? We're sitting at 24 cents. So, I mean, all things considered, we're not doing too bad, right? Again, let me know in the comments if you think this is good or bad, the new Tilray amendment. Personally, I think it's bad. I don't think it's terrible, though. It just goes to show you that Chaos, they were able to get a little bit of an edge there on that. So, again, all parties are friendly. All parties want Hexo to do well, and they see the value in unlocking the value that's tied up in Hexo right now, right? And obviously the market conditions are not helping. But I mean, SPY has been gapping down for the last 3 days, right? SPY has dropped 10% in 3 days, and how much has Hexo lost in 3 days? About 17%. So again, that's 3 days. So we're not down that much. We gave all that ground that we made up from the low there at 23 cents all the way up to 28 cents, but we didn't drop to a new lower low, so we didn't lose 23 cents. So that's a sigh of relief. We could, though, if we see another leg down in SPY, but all things considered, I think most people would have thought that Hexo would have definitely lost the low, right? If you take a look at SPY in the last 3 days, gap down. So if we do see a relief rally, we could see a pretty big, fast and hard move to the upside in SPY, because we do have a gap there in the chart at 389 and then 401. All gaps usually get filled in time. But yeah, I thought for sure when SPY was dropping there again today, because generally the rule of thumb is when SPY is down 10%, we should see individual stocks down 3 or 4 times as much. So when it's down 10% in 3 days, we should see Hexo down 30 or 40%, right? And it's only down about 15 to 20%, not even 20%. So I would say we're holding up relatively well, all things considered. I did a video on when is Hexo earnings. You can check that out. Just Google it as well. When are their Q3 earnings? I'm not going to go into all that just for effort of this video, but we're still bullish on the MACD, surprisingly. even though, we're breaking down in the broader market. So in terms of technicals, we're not doing too bad. It's all about 23 cents support after that, and we're looking at 20 cents, but we do have a lack of resistance on the daily up to 28 cents. After that, nothing until about 34 cents in the price action. We do have EMA 26 there at 29 cents as well. So those are the resistances and short-term supports to be watching. There's not a whole lot of price history to the downside. Well, there's actually, this would be all-time lows, right? So there's actually no price history. So we're just going on psychological numbers from there. But let's take a look at the chat room. I see we have quite a few people, over 30 people here, still with us after 20 minutes. So let me know in the comments, do you think that's good or bad? The Tilray deal. Personally, I'll go back to my thoughts and conclusion here. So we know that Tilray stated many times that it's important that they remain a standalone company and independent. So Hexo remains independent. We know that Microsoft bailed out Apple in 1997 with this kind of a similar, I think it was 150 million investment, and we're seeing about the same thing here from Tilray, right around 180 million. So kind of the same deal. Personally, I think there's a good chance this increases the odds now that they merge later on down the road. But like Tilray, Irwin Simon, the CEO, said, they're in a good position to do absolutely nothing, just collect interest and sit back, or they can just wait till later on once they market conditions improve and their ability to see Hexo kind of turn things around. Hexo turns a profit in 4 quarters, like they're forecasting. Then we could see them convert into equity later on and actually own those shares, which would equate to about 50% of the company. And then they could potentially look at putting the two companies together. In which case, what would happen to your Hexo shares? You would just be given a ratio. So for every Hexo share you own, you would get a certain amount of Tilray shares, right? So your Hexo shares would essentially just convert into Tilray shares, which I don't think would be the end of the world. But again, look at how long it took them to get this deal done, and it's still not done. It's still not done until next month, mid next month. So just imagine how long it would take before they actually put the companies together, which I think would be at least 1 year out, but I think more realistically 2 to 3 years out before we ever see them merge. But I personally think that Hexo is still going to remain independent, and it's great to see that they have two parties, Chaos Capital, 3 actually, Chaos Capital, High Trail, and Tilray, all working in unison, very friendly. Everybody wants Hexo to do well, and everybody wants Tilray to do well. Everybody wants everybody to do well, right? That's the environment that we need to be in. We need to drop this tribalism, MSO, maximalism, and MSO gang, all that stuff. There's going to be winners and losers both sides of the border. There's going to be winners in Europe. There's going to be, we need to drop the tribalism. Let's be adults and face reality here. There's going to be winners and losers in all aspects of the world. It's going to be a $1 trillion industry at some point. I truly believe that. Likely a lot sooner than people think. But take a look at the questions, the chat. See if anybody gave any information. Hello from Russia. Yeah, give me your thoughts, guys. What do you think? Good or bad? What do you think? Were you surprised by this? Are you mad? Are you? I guess when the share price, if the share price goes down, people will probably tell me then, or if it goes up, they'll probably tell me then, right? If the share price goes up, oh, the deal amendment's good. Oh, the share price goes down. Oh, the deal amendment was bad. But hello from Russia. Welcome from Russia. Welcome. Tuning in from Russia. Wow, I think that's got to be a first for POW Group. Good morning. I am waiting. Price $2. Tilray. Oh, you mean before adding? Yeah, it could get there. Let's take a look at Tilray price real quick here. So Tilray did get hit a bit harder the last few days. So we did see a bit of a gap there, not much, but yeah, it's been crushed. And I think everybody's kind of humbled now, right? Everybody was kind of hating on Hexo for such a long time, and then Tilray dropped as well, and it's down 95% from its highs in February of 2021, right? And then everybody started to drop, and then SNDL started to drop, and then you even had the U.S. stocks, and then everybody was like, oh, see, I told you LPs suck, right? And it's all about MSOs, which I own both, right? I own MSOs and LPs. I like both American and Canadian MJ stocks, right? I want them all to do well. But then, they're like, haha, I told you so. And then look what happened, right? We gave back the whole move and then some, and we're down 80% on MSOS, right? So everybody who points the finger and laughs at other people's misery and stocks being down, they got a big piece of humble pie here from Mr. Market in the last couple of years, right? So again, when the whole sector is trending lower, until the sector matures, it's just going to always be the same in my opinion. But yeah, Tilray not looking good. Coming up on, what was it, $3 support? After that, it was $2.43. So yeah, we have support at $2.43 next. Other than that, you got nothing. And that's just psychological supports from there as well. But yeah, it can always go lower. I would definitely, not financial advice, this is for entertainment purposes only, do your own research, but not a bad idea to start scaling in using that dollar cost averaging approach. I honestly don't know if it's good or bad. Yeah, I don't think it's, I think it's more bad than good for Hexo. In terms of Tilray, it's great because they were able to get the conversion price down, right? Which means they'll be able to own, instead of 35% of the company, they'll be able to own 50% of the company. But that can be perceived as good for Hexo as well, because we know Tilray tried to buy Hexo in November for $2 or $3 a share, and Hexo turned it down. The price is currently at 23 cents. They could have sold for $2 or $3, but then they would have owned no percent of the company, right? Then it just would have went to Tilray. Tilray would have owned it all. Whereas now, at least they're going to own about 50% of the company, right? So market conditions obviously weren't great for Hexo, and that's kind of the long and short of it today as we wrap up here. But like I said, good for Tilray overall, not so great for Hexo, but Hexo did. Again, I see a lot of emotional people online like, oh my God, this is terrible. I saw a couple of comments there before I came live, and they didn't read into the chaos thing, right? The backstop standby agreement. So that's improved, right? But again, you got to kind of just look more under the hood than just the first thing that pops out, right? It's easy to get triggered and get emotional, but yeah, not the greatest for Hexo, but Tilray's down 95% as well from the last year. Not doing too well. It doesn't matter what shareholder you are. It's all been rough being in MJ, right? So instead of pointing the finger at one company, we kind of just need to all just try to get through this together, right? And it looks like Hexo and Tilray are going to come out of this as just global juggernauts and powerhouses, right? Savings, $80 million in savings between the two of them, and could be even more than that. I think there was even more with Truly, even Harvest Health, I think it was. I think they had way more synergies than they even expected. There was a couple other mergers that happened where they forecasted a certain amount of synergies, and it ended up being way more than that as well. And you got to think too, we're entering into a recession. Hexo and Tilray have great products and great prices, and they're going to be able to do it at scale. It's only going to continue to drop. The cost, like Hexo, you can get the Redecan Ready's King Pack now, so an ounce for $92 with tax here in Alberta, right? So people aren't going to be going for those $200 ounces anymore, in my opinion, leading into gas prices coming up on $3 a liter here in Canada. So $5 a gallon in the US, right? So I don't think I think people are going to opt for the Redecan Ready's in the pre-rolls for $92 over some craft for $200 or $180 or whatever it is, right? And it's essentially recession proof, right? I think the tough times, people are going to start reverting back to like Hexo has great quality, great products, great prices, right? That's like recession, what survives in a recession, right? Things that people can't live without. And I know for one thing, I'm not going to stop buying Hexo products. Tilray, not so much. I'm not a big fan of their products. Canopy 2, man, how much pain can we take? Good thing I don't need to take any money out. Yeah, as long as you're not investing any more than you're willing to lose. Any money I put into MJ, it's not any of my rent money or anything like that. I don't need it anytime soon. Like, it's just going to sit there, right? And it's investments. So I'm just dollar cost averaging. I don't think MJ's for trading right now. Like, you can trade, like crypto is for trading a couple of months ago, right? Like when I said that there was warning signs and everything, that's when you want to kind of be trading, because you don't want to be investing when something's at a peak of a bubble, right? MJ's at a bottom of a bear market, like it's at the bottom of the cycle. So now you don't really want to be trading, in my opinion, or you miss the real move, right? Especially leading into safe banking potentially passing in the U.S. Where we could see uplisting to NASDAQ of the U.S. companies, which would create huge euphoria in the company, in the country, and then globally. But yeah, it's not a trade right now. It's just an investment, pure investment. I own more crypto than I do MJ. I own more real estate than I do crypto, and I own more cash than I do anything else, right? And this is why I'm glad I saved that cash, just so that I can dollar cost average on these lows. And I'm still not going too heavy right now because I know that, like I said, I wanted to wait until after the Tilray deal. And then a lot of people are saying, well, it's going to go through. Why don't you just add now? And I'm like, well, it could get, anything can happen, right? There's no guarantees. The only guarantee is there's no guarantees. And then now look what happened. Hexo could go down to 20 cents now because of this being not favorable, perceived as bearish by the market, right? And more favorable for Tilray. So maybe Tilray goes up a little bit more today and Hexo goes down. Well, good thing I waited because, you know, the Tilray deal hasn't gone through, and then maybe I was going to add at 20 cents anyway, right? That was my two conditions, either add at 20 cents USD or wait until the Tilray deal goes, and I was going to add about 5% onto my current position, right? But now might be able to reload cheaper. And again, it's still going to be another month. So again, it looks like it's probably going to be finalized in the next month though. Judging by the look of the state of the broader market, I think we're due for a pretty big relief rally in the broader market, especially leading into to July here. And then I think we could see some selling pressure pick up into August, but I think we're likely due for a monthly bounce and a weekly bounce. Again, nothing goes straight down forever, but yeah, Canopy getting spanked, taking it on the chin. Everybody, mostly LPs getting the brunt of it though, right? Because it's on NASDAQ, NYSE, that's where the big money plays, so they can short it more, manipulate it more, things like that. I own both, taking a gamble of both, see what happens. Yeah, I own both Tilray and Hexo as well. I own way more Hexo than I do Tilray though. Full disclosure. Feels like bad news. Market is out of order. Yeah, the market is, the broader market is teetering on the brink of, you know, it's pretty much in a bear market. We confirmed a monthly downtrend a couple months ago for the first time in 15 years since 2008 financial crisis. So we need to be expecting downside. But like I said, Hexo and MJ, not so much all MJ, but I'm surprised Hexo didn't lose 23 cents there after SPY gapping down the last 2 days, shedding 10% on the S&P 500. I thought Hexo would have been down at least 30% in the last few days, but not even down 20%, still holding support at 23 cents, which is good to see. But going to start wrapping it up. Like I said, I think there's good and bad to the deal. Obviously, better terms for Tilray than Hexo, so they came out with the win. They came out on top there, but Hexo has a little bit more favorable terms with Chaos, which is the backstop standby agreement, which gives them another 100 million, right? 180 million. And then the 100 million from Tilray unrestricted cash once it comes through, 102. So it's like 282 million total Hexo's going to have in cash after the deal goes through. All right. Going to end it there. 33 minutes, not too bad. Hopefully that keeps the short video requesters happy. But yeah, again, when you come on and do these live streams, there's no telling. We've got about 40 people on the live stream here after 33 minutes. So sometimes these can go a little bit longer than anticipated. And I think we got through it pretty quickly here today. If you are tuning in now, if you could smash the like, help support me in the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or live streams. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you're viewing this video after the fact. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Do you think it's good or bad? Do you agree with my points? You know, we don't have to agree to be friends either, right? We can challenge each other's ideas. I actually encourage that. That's only going to make us all stronger and smarter and more, you know, be able to make a better judgment call at the end of the day, right? I'm open to everybody fact checking all of the information that I provide as well. And yeah, I'll never take offense to you correcting me or challenging my ideas. I'll tell you that right now. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you what your thoughts and opinions are on this deal. And yeah, going to end it there. Like I said, if you could smash the like one more time on your way out, I would appreciate it. And going to end it there. Hope you have a great day. And still got a long week ahead of us. We'll see if the broader market can rebound and we get a little bit of tailwinds instead of these headwinds that we've been facing. All right. Thanks so much for joining us again on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Power Group, and we'll see you in the next video.